Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to what could possibly be the last game of the Antarctic Cup. We see our Terran player just lining up all of his hotkeys just right across the keyboard. As right now we have a TVT. So when I said Terran player, what I meant was our blue Terran player who is in the top left. His name is ApxMankiw, and he is just so good.
He's very good. He's very good indeed. His opponent is going to be spawning in the bottom right spawn location. There are only two spawn locations on this map, but it is going to be fnaticaLive, and while Mankiw is really good, Alive is just so good. He's so good, Tasteless.
Yes, indeed. That is what Artosis finds himself saying all the time about not just MVP, but players like fnaticaLive, formerly of TSL.
fnaticaLive, just to give a little discussion, I was reading a bit about fnaticaLive earlier today on TL, and one of the TL journalists made a good point. fnaticaLive he's very inconsistent. But when he plays really well, he can beat anybody. He can, like, when he plays at his best, he plays like MVP at his best. And I have to say, we have definitely been seeing Alive at his best in this tournament.
Yes, definitely Alive. Of course, he has been playing people who are not quite that Code S level, but even so, he's just been tearing it up. He's just really, really been tearing it up. And hopefully we're going to see some good play out of him. He does open up Barracks first, which is not all of that notable. But his opponent Mankiw going Refinery first, so I think we're going to see some Banshee play.
Mankiw's not going Refinery first.
Am I mistake? Oh wait, sorry. Oh my gosh, I saw the geyser right next to the barracks, and I thought, oh, okay, he's going Refinery first. Because like a lot of maps have the two geysers right next to each other, but
Well, actually, no. You know, the thing is, Mankiw has spawned in the top left, which means he actually has 3 gas geysers at his base.
I sure.
Now, both of them are going Barracks first. Everything is almost completely in tandem thus far. Alive a little bit ahead in that Marine production. Just a
Like I
couple of
said,
seconds.
the Korean ladder version of cheese is just a play standard.
Yes, the Korean equivalent. There goes the expansion. Going to be a 1-rack fast expand from ApxMankiw, and also a 1-rack fast expand going up from Alive. Alive was a little bit ahead in that Marine production, and in exchange for that, he is about 8 seconds behind in production on that command center. Not the end of the world by any means. But yeah, everything's looking very standardo thus far, and honestly, I think Mankiw has to be really careful at this point, because Alive is in the position where if he wins one of the next 3 games, he wins. So he has the opportunity to throw things away if he wants to. So if I was Mankiw, I would expect, Alive can risk an all-in.
Alive can risk an all-in, and he can risk it at any time he
Yeah,
wants.
he can do whatever the hell he wants. He can play incredibly unorthodox. He can play random ass tactics that he thinks might put Mankiw on the back foot. And honestly, like, even if he loses a game, that somehow confuses Mankiw so much that it puts him in a better mental state than Mankiw, then that's still a win for him, considering that he only needs 1 win out of the next 3 games, whereas Mankiw needs to essentially almost reverse all kill his opponent.
Essentially, yeah, he basically has to win the next 3 games. Of course, all kill. Not the word I'd use to describe it, but
Not
he does
quite,
have
but
to. He basically has to 3-0 his opponent over the next 3 games.
yeah.
Yeah, I still know what Mankiw's going to do, because I think it's an incredibly tall order for someone like Mankiw to beat a player like sorry, I keep calling him TSL Alive, like Alive, when Alive is on this kind of a roll.
He has
He's
taken
just
1 game
so
from him,
good.
though. So, he has taken a game off Alive, which is not something that everybody can say. And Alive is playing
That is
at the top of
true.
his game. So,
But
I mean,
taking a game off Alive is not the same thing as taking taking
yes.
4 games off
Oh,
Alive.
yes. I'm not saying that he's in a position to win this very easily, but that is something to be proud of,
He
even if he
has
does lose
something to
this.
work on. That's definitely
Oh,
something
yes.
to work off of.
Yes.
And he has the ability. He has the ability to beat Alive. Like, not many people would win more than, say, 3 or 4 games in a best of 31 against Fnatic's Alive, but
I mean, just to take a look at this, the only person before Mankiw won the second game of the series, and before that, Alive only lost one game this entire tournament, and that was where he had this all-in play and lost a build order loss.
Yeah,
The
and
only
Alive
loss.
has only lost twice, each time to a different person, and each of those people was a Korean Terran. So
That's true. I
I
hadn't
mean,
thought of
it's
that.
like it's Alive is just tearing it up. So Mankiw just has a long road ahead of him, and he does have a Reaper joining his army. I don't know what role that Reaper's going to play. It'll do a little bit of good damage against those Marines. It does a lot of damage against the light units, of course. The Reaper deciding, yeah, he's going to move it out, and probably going to go ahead and find out that SCV is at the Zelnaga Watchtower. So I guess that SCV's days are numbered.
That SCV is in fact dead. He is spare parts, and if one of these days his wife is going to go to the authorities and be like, "Have you seen my husband? Where is he?" And the authorities are going to be like, "Oh well, he's there, and a bit of him's there."
By the way, Penguin's not talking about the wife of the man who operates the SCV. He's talking about the wife of the construction vehicle itself.
Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody has ever heard that CV Love song, yeah.
Yes, thank you, Kurt Hugo Schneider and Husky Starcraft for bringing that song into our lives.
Alive is going with his mass Marine play. I'm a little. I'm thinking maybe we're seeing a little bit of Marine King coming out in him. Not really making any Marauders out of that Tech Lab barracks. Only using that Tech Lab for Stim and Combat Shields. Combat Shields is done. Stim is about a third of the way done, and it seems like he is really being a bit of a Marine fan. Same goes for Mankiw. Mankiw has a pretty much mass Marine. He had the rookie, the Reaper, who was chilling with the army, and that did its job, killing one SCV, and now it is dead. So it's pretty much Marine versus Marine at this point. Medevacs
Absolutely.
are on the way out for Alive, and Starport's just going to be finishing up for Mankiw. So it'll be Marine Medevac versus Marine Medevac. Upgrades might play a bit of a role. I mean, upgrades, they're pretty even in upgrades thus far. Combat Shields for Mankiw is probably going to finish around the same time as Stim for Alive, and at that point, they're both going to have 1-1. So, I mean, really, the builds are practically even thus far. And there is another factory being built for Alive, so it looks like he's going to be going into the Marine tank production. Alive is going to be moving out with this pretty large force of Marines. Mankiw choosing not to engage, not to use his upgrade advantage, which is now gone. And I think that might have been a bit of a mistake. Now he is going to engage, does get the better concave, and the engagement is going on. The problem is that he doesn't have combat shields yet, whereas Alive does. So Alive is going to be able to beat this back with the upgrade advantage.
Yeah, he is, and now Alive actually just...
Ooh, loading up the medevacs.
Yeah, he's just going to drop straight into the main, and those medevacs, man, they just got the leg up, and the medevacs from Mankiw were actually just a little bit too late, and that allowed the Marines just to die.
Yeah, honestly, this is a terrible position for Mankiw, who needs to win this game. Brilliant micro going down for Alive, and there's the GG. We have our winner, ladies and gentlemen.
Fnatic's Alive.
Fnatic's Alive takes home $200.
Indeed, he just won $125 with that push, and he is going home with a total of $200.